Hey kids, today we're asking the question of is it okay to mock homophobic questions? G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA. Now, if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn at the barbie, and get ready for it. Let's go. Am I the arsehole for mocking my nephew and ganging up on him for asking me whether me or my husband was the woman? So, my family had our first get-together since the thing started on the weekend. We're all vaccinated now. During which I discovered my formerly adorably precocious kid of a nephew has hit his edgy teen stage with gusto. He had an attitude all afternoon, which culminated in him asking me and my husband, gay couple, which one of us was the woman. I was pretty taken aback and just said neither of us. We are both men. That's the point. At which point, he came up with some Evo psych BS about how male always seeks female, and therefore even with two guys, one will always be the more feminine or something. The thing is, I know he knows better, and his whole attitude was blatantly just trying to get a rise. I didn't feel like ruining a nice afternoon by giving it to him, so instead, I decided to make a joke of it and told him seriously that no one had told us that, and in that case, we'd better figure it out ASAP, huh? My husband grabbed a notepad, drew columns for each of us, and we started noting down our various feminine and masculine aspects. Deliberately more absurd stuff like, I wear more pink but he cries easier. He's much better at sports, but I've got him beat in survival skills, etc. At some point, the other adults, minus my folks, drifted over to see what we were doing. My brother immediately wanted to join in, saying he had never really been sure in their case either, so he and his wife started their own list, and my sister and her husband, parents of Nephew, followed suit. It was honestly pretty funny. We made up a point system and debated the gendering of breakfast foods. My nephew got more and more sulky. We kept asking for his verdicts, until finally he walked away in disgust and ended up hardly saying a word for the rest of the afternoon. At the time, I thought it was a harmless and amusing way of making a point about the stupidity of his argument without giving him the satisfaction of the "you were too sensitive" rise that he was obviously looking for. But earlier today, we heard from his brother saying my nephew was really upset and accusing us of being a bunch of adults ganging up on a child and of drawing his own parents into it. I honestly hadn't thought of it in that light, and now that I do, I must admit that it's not a great look. I still think he's old enough to not be catered to when he acts like this though. Am I the arsehole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I made fun of my teenage nephew's idiot statement and encouraged other adults to join in. I think I might be the arsehole because I'm the grown-up and he's still a child, albeit one going through an obnoxious stage right now. Now in the comments, not the arsehole. He was being a brat, he knew it. He dished it and couldn't take it, said loosely because you didn't even really dish it back. You joked on yourselves, not him. I think it was a great way to make the point of how ridiculous that statement was. Not the arsehole. I love how you handled it. 100% not the arsehole. You had a good time debating the relative masculinity of breakfast burritos versus pancakes. You didn't lose your cool or humiliate him. Your sentences could have started with, "Listen up, you little crap." But it didn't. Right? This is one of the best ones of these that I've read today, just because OP and his husband were able to take someone acting straight up offensive and turn it into a fun activity. Quote, debated the gendering of breakfast foods. Lucky Charms are a hetero male food, and I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. Edit, this is less important, but not the arsehole. He's old enough to know to not ask that kind of a thing. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Not the arsehole. Also, you didn't gang up on him. You mocked his homophobia and gender essentialism and got other people to join in and question their own prejudices. It just might be there is a learning experience here for the young man. Edit, this could be a solid exercise in the right context. What actions or behaviors are masculine or feminine, and why do you think that? I'm so sick of people saying they're being bullied, attacked, or ganged up on when they're actually just being called out for their crap. They also like to say they're being shamed too. They deserve it. Please stop shaming me for my shameful behavior. And our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my nephew why he can't come to my house after school anymore?" My nephew is 14. He lives with my brother, his dad, his stepmom, his stepbrother who is 11, and his half-sister who is 2. My brother's first wife died 5 years ago. My brother remarried last year, but has been with my current sister-in-law for the last 3 years. My nephew gets along really well with my 13-year-old son and 15-year-old daughter, and they hang out together a lot at my house. My brother never minded before, but recently decided that since my nephew doesn't consider his stepbrother and half-sister his siblings, that more time needs to be put into them spending time together. And he wanted me to be the bad guy and tell my nephew that he's no longer welcome after school. I told my brother I wasn't going to take the blame, and he needs to talk to the nephew if he wants to make things work. My brother said that it would be better coming from me, but I didn't go along with it. So my brother told him that I had said he wasn't welcome anymore. Nephew came to me and I was honest, that his dad wants him to spend more time with his stepbrother and half-sister. These are the terms my nephew uses, and so has decided that he shouldn't spend time at my house anymore. My nephew was pissed at his dad and told him taking away the people he wants to spend time with isn't going to make him want the other two more than he does. He said that he's not going to run to bond with them because he doesn't have his cousins. He'll just do other stuff. My brother is annoyed that I told my nephew the truth. He said that I had no right to undermine him and hurt their relationship by making nephew dislike him. I told him he did it himself, but when he said it wasn't my place, something stuck. So am I the asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I told my nephew that his dad didn't want him hanging out at my house, so he would hang out with his step and half-siblings instead. By doing this, I did make my nephew mad at his dad. This may not have been my place to be so honest. Now in the comments, not the asshole. Your brother wanted your nephew to dislike you. Quote, so my brother told him I had said he wasn't welcome anymore. I wish him good luck with lying and forcing the families to become one. Yep, dude wanted OP to be the bad guy. How sad for the kid to be cut off from people that he cares about and who care about him. Even worse that it's being done solely to manipulate him. You can't force love or affection. You can encourage it by providing a trusting, comfortable environment along with opportunities to enjoy things together and bond. But it's like planting a seed. You can water it perfectly, give it the right amount of sunlight, and tell it every day that it has to grow, but it doesn't care what you say. All you can do is wait and watch what happens. My best friend has a twin, but you would never know it. They are nothing alike and never did more than tolerate each other. If two siblings who shared a womb aren't inherently close to each other, there is no way a 14-year-old can be forced to embrace step-siblings. Trying to force him will definitely ensure that he will never like them though. Not the asshole. Your brother wanted you to be the fall guy so he could preserve what relationship he has or had with his child at the expense of your relationship with the child. If I were you, I would have done the same thing. He hurt his relationship with his son by lying to him, and who knows what else. You did the right thing by talking to him like a person and telling him the truth. He needs someone to trust. Hopefully your brother can figure out how to communicate with his son better. Am I the asshole for demanding my widow sister-in-law and her kids to leave after she puts a lock on the bathroom door and denied my daughter access to it? I'm a father of a 16-year-old daughter. I own a one-bathroom, middle-sized house where me, my wife, her widow sister, and her 2 kids live. My daughter had issues with her mother and requested to live with me permanently. I had the legal stuff finalized, and my daughter moved in with us a month ago. She and her stepmom get along. So far, everything was going well. My daughter had her period days ago. Nothing new, nothing strange, except my sister-in-law came to me complaining about my daughter leaving used pads in the bathroom, causing her sons to see them. I asked where exactly, and she said in the trash can. I laughed in her face, asking if she thought this was abnormal or strange. She got upset that I didn't understand her point and wanted me to listen carefully as she explained that her boys are pretty young and shouldn't be subjected to witness stuff like that. I said I'll see what I can do. I talked to my daughter and made sure that she wasn't just leaving her used pads in full display inside the trash can. It turns out she wraps them in toilet paper, which is enough in my opinion. I told my sister-in-law there was no problem then, and she should quit being too sensitive over her boys. She got mad saying I was dismissing her concerns and reminded me her oldest has blood phobia, and my daughter, even though doing it unintentionally, keeps leaving her pads exposed. I welcomed any ideas to fix this, and she suggested my daughter throw her used pads outside the house. I stopped arguing at that point because of how ridiculous she was being. She threatened to change the bathroom door lock if I don't do something, but I laughed her off. My daughter called me the next day after getting back from school, saying her step-aunt refused to let her use the bathroom and was keeping it locked. She had to use her new friend's, the neighbor's, bathroom, but called to let me know. I was effing livid. I went home and blew up at my sister-in-law. She apologetically said the lock was only for when my daughter tries to leave her pads inside, and she would have allowed her if she agreed to put her used pads elsewhere. But my daughter was stubborn. I told her she was out of her mind to get a new lock for my door in my own house and keep my daughter from accessing the bathroom. I removed it quickly, and she kept lashing out at me and then called my wife. My wife came to calm us down, but I told her and sister-in-law that I have no problem kicking her out. My sister-in-law started crying. My wife said her sister is a widow and will be homeless without us. I said I stopped giving a crap the minute she tried to keep my daughter out of the bathroom. I demanded she leaves, but my wife said I was unfair to those kids. I bluntly said not my problem. She has 6 days to move out. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might have let my anger make this decision for me. My sister-in-law has nowhere to go with her kids, and closing the door in her face might be cruel of me. Now in the comments, not the asshole. Boys are pretty young. Teach them that women have periods then, Christ. Your daughter has a great father. Tell sister-in-law if she doesn't like it, she can get out. Seriously, the boys are 13 and 16. They can deal with it and be glad they aren't the ones getting periods. 13 and 16 is old enough to learn to not dig through the bathroom trash. I'm seriously thinking it was their mom. Not the asshole. Yay, OP! Widows with 16-year-old and 13-year-old kids can well afford to work a full-time job, since the kids are in school most of the day and can stay home alone from say 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Or she can apply for welfare, food stamps, Section 8 housing, go to a shelter, ask her late husband's family for help. The possibilities are endless. And OP replies, she started receiving benefits after her husband passed away, but she complains it's not enough to provide for her 2 kids. The rest of my in-laws are negative and won't help. Not the asshole. We need to stop treating normal female bodily functions as disgusting or perverse. Your daughter did nothing wrong, and it's her house. Exactly. The sister-in-law is a pick-me for period-shaming the OP's daughter rather than having empathy, as it's something she also has experienced. And our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for telling my brother and his wife they were out of their minds for asking me not to celebrate my daughter's birthday? So me and my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, have a dreadful relationship, but we are cordial as we can be. We were both pregnant at the same time, but she went into labor early and the baby was taken to the NICU with serious health issues. I kept checking on my brother daily. He was so worried and couldn't eat or sleep properly for an entire week, while his wife literally kept posting pictures of their daughter on Facebook and gleefully saying she defeated me and had the first grandchild. She meant to be hurtful, but I took no offense because I understood that she was trying to stay positive in bad circumstances. The day my daughter was born, my brother called me and my husband crying, saying his daughter was gone hours ago. We were devastated for him and sister-in-law. There were many things I couldn't do because I was afraid my sister-in-law was going to feel hurt, but throughout the next months, I started getting excluded from family events unless I leave my daughter home. My husband thought my family were being unreasonable by making these requests, but Mum said that it's a phase. My daughter's first birthday will be in a few days. We decided to celebrate at home. We got calls from family wanting to attend, which made my brother and sister-in-law upset because almost everyone apologized for not being able to attend my niece's death anniversary to attend my daughter's first birthday. I asked what can we do, and my brother and sister-in-law said they wanted me to cancel the party for my daughter since it's insensitive to celebrate her birthday this particular day while ignoring my niece's death. My husband and I said no because our daughter's first birthday is a huge event. My brother got agitated and called us cruel and said that we were selfish, and insisted I cancel the birthday if I love and care enough about his feelings as a grieving father. He added that my daughter won't remember anyway, so this party was for me and my husband. Mum suggested I move the party to the next day, but I said no. My daughter was born on X day, not Y day. Then I told my brother and his wife they were out of their minds to make such demands. My dad got in the middle of the argument after my sister-in-law started crying. I tried to end the conversation, and my husband went to the car, but my brother stopped me at the door. I apologized but said I will still be celebrating my daughter's birthday. He angrily said he didn't know why I still felt the need to give him a load of bullcrap excuses for being selfish and refusing to have some compassion towards him and his wife's loss. He said he knew that I don't like his wife, and knew that I knew how having the birthday will hurt and mess up their mind, and reminded me that I was hurting him as well, but obviously I don't care because if I do, I'd at least cancel the party for his baby's sake. He wrapped up by saying he won't ever speak to me if I go through with my plans. He gave me the most guilt-tripping look I've ever seen, and then left. It was bad, and I can't help feeling guilty. My husband is insisting that we have the party and keeps telling me we have nothing to feel guilty about. Now in the comments, not the asshole. What happened to them is very sad, but they don't get to wreck your daughter's birthday every year because something happened to them on that day. If you let them call the shots now, it will set a precedent that their dead child is more important than your living one and always will be, and that could have serious mental health repercussions on your daughter as she grows up. You stated that your family had been excluding you from events unless you didn't take your daughter. Then they are trying to guilt trip you into not celebrating her birthday and threatening to cut contact if you go ahead with the birthday celebration. Go ahead with it. It sounds like you'll be a lot happier without these people butting into your lives. They are going to punish this little girl forever for the crime of being alive if OP doesn't say enough is enough now. Anyone who thinks denying her daughter's existence is acceptable needs to be cut off. Sympathy for grief can't extend to unreasonable demands and tolerating hatred towards innocent parties. Their chosen coping method is unhealthy, irrational, not beneficial, and should not be indulged. Not the asshole. And who gathers to relive the anniversary of the death of an infant? That is not a thing. That would never be a thing in a healthy family. The fact they are even planning this and actively trying to compete with you for family attendance on what has to be your child's first birthday party can only be their ongoing attempts to erase your daughter and focus on their daughter, which they've been doing since even before she was born when their daughter was in NICU. Firstly, there is no such thing as an anniversary of a wake or anniversary of a death of an infant that families gather to celebrate. Not even royal families would do this. They are inventing that event so as to deny your daughter her first birthday. Secondly, they won't move on until they're able to focus on living and stop trying to erase the living and relive the dead. Thirdly, your sister-in-law needs therapy, desperately. And I would be very concerned about the safety and well-being of your child until she stops actively trying to erase her and replace her with the dead. Not the asshole. Your child has been excluded from family stuff all year, and that is wrong. People are saying it's just the birthday, but it'll be the same every year. I'm sad for their loss, but your child is here and should be celebrating her first birthday. Them saying she won't even remember it, this party is for you, the parents. So the party for the dead child is for who? Exactly. If OP is expected to move the birthday party because the baby won't remember it anyway, then bro and sister-in-law can move their remembrance for the same reason. Not the asshole. Are they going to insist your daughter never has a birthday party? Them not attending the party would have been completely understandable. Demanding you cancel is not. They've experienced something horrendous and need to seek professional help. You not having a party will not alleviate their pain. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.